Good day, welcome. This is your Daily Med with Lady V. Today we want to look at Matthew 5, verse 43 to verse 48. And we will see where Jesus says we should have love, one love for all persons, whether they are our friends or they are our foes. We'll see Jesus gave us four commands in verse 44 of Matthew 5. He says, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them who hate you, and pray for your persecutors. So that is the encouragement to us today. These are four of the many commandments that he has given in the New Testament, and it is to be obeyed by all Christians. Matthew 5, verse 43 to verse 48. He says, one love we should have. He have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh the sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So as we talk about one love today, where Jesus himself is encouraging us, is making a demand of us. He is saying we should love our enemies. So in this chapter, chapter 5, our Lord's final example of the higher righteousness demand in his kingdom. It concerns the treatment of our enemies. Wow. The law had taught the Israelites to love their neighbor in Leviticus 19:18, although they were never explicitly commanded to hate their neighbors. The Spirit underlay much of their teaching or their indoctrination. This Spirit was there. This attitude was a summary of the Old Testament's outlook toward those who persecuted God's righteous people. They were faced with what? Hostility. Psalm 139, 21, 22. It was a righteous hostility directed against God's enemy. Because you know the enemies of man is really the enemies of God. So when we look at verse 44 through 47, we see what Jesus says. What is Jesus' commands? He says, but now Jesus announces what should we do? Love our enemies and to pray for those who persecute us. The fact that love is commanded show that it is a matter of the will and not just according to our emotions. It is not the same as a natural affection that one would have for another. Why? Because it is not natural to love those who hate us. It's not natural to love those who harm us, persecute us, lie about us, do all kinds of things falsely. So it is a supernatural grace that will be manifested in us only, and it has to be by the divine life of God that is in us. But he goes on to say there is no reward if we love only those who love us. Jesus says that even the unconverted tax collectors do that. So this type of love requires no divine power if the tax collector can do it. Neither is there any virtue in greeting our brethren only, that is, our relatives and our friends and those who love us. The unsaved can do that. There is nothing distinctive about it. But listen, he's saying to the Christian, there is a certain standard, because we will never make an impact on the world if we love only those who love us. So Jesus says that the brethren, the Christians, his followers, should return good for evil, so that they may be sons of God, sons of the one, their Father who is in heaven. So he's not just saying that this was the way to become sons of God. What he is saying, we show that we are God's children when we can return good for evil, when we can pray for those who persecute us, when we can love those who curse us or despise us. So he is saying to us, listen, look at what I have done. God says, I show no partiality to either the evil or the good, in that both benefit from the sun, both benefit from the rain. So we should deal graciously and fairly with all, enemies, friends, foes alike. Jesus closes this section with the admonition, therefore you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. So what can we understand from the word being perfect in this context? It does not mean that the believer is sinless or the believer is flawless. But what he is saying, it means when it comes to loving those who hate us, to pray for those who persecute us, and to show kindness to those who are both friends and foe. What he's saying here about perfection is that we are growing in spiritual maturity, which enables the Christian, the believer, to imitate God in dispensing blessing to everyone without partiality. But how can we do this? It is made possible through the new birth. It is made possible through walking and living in the Spirit. It is made possible by the proper use of the Christian's weapon. And so we will see today that this is what God demands of us. Love your enemies. Bless those that curse you. Do good to those that hate you. And pray for your persecutors. And he says, when we do this, there is a reward. So we are implored, we are commanded, and we are challenged as we go forth to do that which God has commanded of us in these few verses. Let there be love, one love, the love that flows from God to us and from us to all others, be they friend, be they be foes, or whether they be our enemies. God bless you. Thank you again for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. And don't forget to visit my YouTube channel, Daily Med with Lady.